Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Creative Table, How to Become a Screenwriter. This is episode 3. I'm Eli, he's Chris. We call ourselves screenwriters. And today we're talking about theme and conflict.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. But talking all about the heartbeat of the story, why you do what you do, when you do it, that kind of thing. And this is really like the second part of because we talked about last time with story and plot, how theme and conflict kind of go hand in hand with those, and those 4 things kind of fill out the whole picture together. So this is kind of filling in the rest of those holes. So, yep, this is what we got, and we're gonna talk about some of the basics first, and kind of give you the 30,000 foot view before we get into the weeds and
the nitty gritty.
And we talk about practical applications, and we're going to look at one film in particular, one screenplay in particular that does theme really, really, really damn well.
It's called No Country for Guys Like Me.
That's right.
No Country for Old Men.
Chris is an old man, in case you didn't get that. But yeah, so all I got to say.
Next week, we're going to talk about direct exposition.
That's right. Yeah, don't be too expository now. But I am going to be expository about this. We got 3 rules around here, all right? Number 1, if you learn anything at all about the art of screenwriting, you must subscribe.
Must.
If you learn anything about your screenplay, you must subscribe.
Must.
And if you have any fun at all during any part of this, you must subscribe.
Must.
Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. We won't send a guy. We got in trouble for that the last time.
Yeah.
But
we will have a guy hack into your machine and subscribe for you.
That's right.
So
you will end up subscribed.
One way or the other.
One way or another.
It's almost like fate. Oh.
That's right. For theme, we will be talking about Austin Powers today. But no, let's, so I thinking about this episode, theme and conflict, I thought it was best to kind of set theme aside first for a minute and talk about conflict, because that's like way more how I view it, at least. Conflict is the engine of drama.
Absolutely.
And you don't have theme without conflict.
Right.
You can have conflict without theme. You know, you see guys in movies
that's
punching
called
each other all the
WWE,
time.
man.
Yeah, bro.
But even they have a storyline.
Yeah, but like, you know, you see big budget movie slop all the time.
Oh, for sure.
People punching each other, and you're like, this doesn't even mean anything.
The last 14 Transformers movies were mostly that.
That's right.
Yeah.
To get to the nuts and bolts of conflict here really quick, just to touch on this, there are several types of conflict. You know, all kinds of learned men, more learned than myself, have broken this down many a time, but there are several types. First up is internal conflict, which is your man versus self, you know, arguing or in conflict with himself. There's external conflict, which encompasses like man versus nature, trying to survive against his environment, a la Jurassic Park, or man versus God, or which could also be like man versus higher power. Right. You know, anything more powerful than himself.
Man versus the immovable.
Yeah.
The inevitable.
Yeah.
The undeniable.
The fate. Yes. Then there's interpersonal conflict, your man versus man, by far like the most.
Mano y mano.
Mano y mano. And then societal conflict, which I feel like you see more of these days. This is like your man versus institution or man versus society.
Falling down.
Yeah, falling down or I don't know. I feel like it's more trendy to do it these days in like, especially like art housey movies.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. In an overtly political sense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. In an overwrought way.
Yeah.
But so those are like that's your lay of the land starting off. Now, Chris, to you, what makes conflict interesting though? Because we already said, like, we aren't very entertained by, robot punching robot in Transformers 17.
Right.
What makes it interesting?
I think there's been this evolution in, you go back to the oldest stories, the fairy stories that we all grew up on, or that, that are really present in every culture. And good is very good and bad is very bad. And the conflict is very clear and it's very clean cut and it's very easy to understand, like universally. Yeah. And as we've moved through like pre-modernity and modernity and post-modernity, there's been this shift of, well, there are some things that I really like about the good guy. I mean, about the antagonist, and there's some things I don't love about the protagonist. So everybody's kind of like,
moral gray.
Everything's kind of, like I think about Breaking Bad was a great story arc on this because you hate Hank in the first season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just can't stand Hank and Lisa. It's like you just, and then. Dude, by the end, you are pulling for them so hard and your heart is crushed for them.
Yeah, dude.
And ditto, you go through this fascinating relational journey with these different characters.
Yeah, especially like Walt. Like, what's your point in the story where you stop rooting for Walt? Yeah, it says a lot about you yourself, and I think that's the point that the show creators try to.
Great first date question right there.
What season did you stop rooting for Walter White?
Check, please.
Yeah. Get me out of here.
Yeah. My favorite Walter moment is it's not in the last scene. Maybe it is in the last episode rather. But he finally says, I wasn't doing this for the fans.
Yes.
I did it for me because I wanted to be great at something.
Yep.
Just like.
It's so, that moment is so cathartic.
It is.
It's so.
It is. It makes us all sit there and ask, and this is the whole thing. And in a really good story, there's all the conflicts. There's the internal dialogue and the internal turmoil of my character versus my desire.
Yeah, that's true.
Then there's the external stuff of whatever the obvious thing is in the movie. But if you're telling a really good story, there are like multiple layers to the conflict.
100%.
Yeah.
That isn't to say that your story should have all the types of conflict.
Right.
Some stories shouldn't.
If you have a man versus nature, I mean, Deliverance in some ways is kind of a man versus nature that morphs into a man versus man,
Yeah.
It's got really complex layers to the conflict between and amongst the characters.
Yeah, I'd say so. But the best do include like multiple types that play with each other and bounce off each other.
Yeah.
And it works really well. I would say too, like the other thing that makes conflict really interesting is there has to be some level of dramatic irony to it in my mind. And the first thing off the top of my head that I thought of was actually The Social Network, which the base level dramatic irony there.
I bet I know where you're going with this.
The man with billions of friends is left with none by the end.
Exactly. The guy who creates the most social thing in human history is like himself, just kind of an island unto himself.
Yeah. So that's like that ironic element makes it interesting to me.
Yeah.
Number two, the stakes being like personal, real, and small. Like it's just talking about The Social Network. It's just like his friendship. It's not like the world is ending. It's
right.
It's does he have any friends? Is he is he going to be able to be Facebook friends with the girl from the beginning?
Right.
And it's like, it's so small and like by all accounts in the grand scheme of things of the world, it does not matter, but it really matters.
Yeah.
And then lastly, like moral choice and good versus evil and right versus wrong, and playing in that, it's not, binary in film, at least. It's very much or in storytelling, I should say, it's very much a spectrum.
For sure.
There's right and wrong and a lot in the middle. There are exceptions to that rule, and great exceptions to that rule. Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
It's a great example.
For sure.
And like I would even say like Star Wars, at least the original trilogy.
Right.
Sure,
right.
Is very cut and dry, evil is evil, good is good, and they're great for it. So, and
which is also, I think, part of the reason that it was so massively appealing.
Yeah.
Like the movie we're going to look at today is, it's one of my favorite movies. It's just absolutely amazing. Also, I totally don't agree with its
with this very pessimistic view.
I don't agree with its outcome, but it is a powerfully and beautifully told story.
100%, man.
But it was not it was not at the theater for 3 months with a line around the block. There is something massively appealing about those stories with moral clarity and conflict clarity.
Yeah, totally.
When they're done right.
Totally. Definitionally, to me, theme is the argument of the story.
Yes.
It is the argument that you, the writer, are trying to make to the audience. And it could be as simple or complex as you like. So like your theme could be, you could have a movie about a bank heist, and your theme could be crime doesn't pay.
Yep.
That's a theme.
And you can tell the same, we talked about this a little bit last week about, the theme, you can take the exact same set of circumstances, the same string of events in your story.
Yep.
And you can tell them a different way based on what the theme is.
Totally.
We talked about The Godfather. If the theme is, the power of a tight-knit family, you tell those same events one way.
Yeah.
And the christening scene is like this glorious, triumph. But if the theme is that, you can get sucked into utter darkness through, well-intended means or whatever, then you would tell it a different way.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that's a good point. And
theme is not why you tell your story. It's the way you tell your story and the audience, the conclusion that you're hoping to draw the audience towards.
Yeah. Or the question you're hoping to make them ask.
Yeah.
It could be that too. And this is one thing I actually ran into. I have heard people say, well, my story doesn't have a theme, or I wasn't really thinking about it.
Then you don't have a story.
Well, I would even say, yes, you do. You have a theme, whether you like it or not. You just don't realize that it's there, what it is. Because if you write a script, or if you make a thing or make a short film or whatever, and you finish it and it's all there, and you come out on the other end and say, I don't have a theme, I don't have an argument, I don't have a thing that I'm trying to say, then you're still unintentionally saying something.
I'm of the opinion that if someone else reads your script and they can't answer that question by third of the way through, there's probably not going to finish it.
Yeah, I would say that too.
I really think if you don't have something, the theme is the thing you have to say. That's the thing you're trying to say with your story, with your script.
A story without an intentional theme doesn't make a good story.
Oh, I just thought of one. What? It's called Jackass. They made like 4 of them. Oh. That's a fun movie without a theme.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Never mind. All right, in the episode, we found the answer.
If you don't have a theme, you sort of just have a series of events. They have to mean something.
They have to mean something cohesive.
Yeah. And this is important. They have to mean something to you.
Yes.
Like, this is not about, if you ever start out your writing process to, well, what does the audience want? But I'm going to try and write something that people want. You're not going to have a great product. You're going to have the last 38 Marvel movies.
Yeah, you're going to try and please everyone and then please nobody.
Exactly. But you need to find something that you want to say through your story, and something that you're trying to convey, trying to make other people wrestle with. That doesn't mean it has to be dramatic. This can be in a comedy. We talked about Tommy Boy a little bit last week.
Yeah.
Great thematic content to Tommy Boy. It's phenomenal. So it doesn't have to be dramatic, but you have to want to say something, and you have to want to take the audience on that ride. Yeah,
totally. This is something else that I also found that really helps. Like, so if you're a writer and you have your script and you have your theme in mind, and you're like, all right, my theme's in my script, but it doesn't really feel like it's doing anything. It's just kind of there, and I don't know what to do with it, and like, that's fine. But it could feel a little flat. Like you still aren't saying anything, even though it's there.
Theme.
Yeah. But I found something really helpful. And a rule that I have is theme, in my opinion, should change meaning over the course of the story.
I like that.
I could, the way I'll say it is, this is actually a lesson from Mr. Lucker, Michael Lucker, who we'll have here in the chair in not too long.
Yeah.
But he illustrated it by playing the class a Kenny Chesney song called There Goes My Life.
There Goes My Life.
Yeah. So, and he said basically the chorus is the theme.
Yep.
And it changes meaning every time, like after every verse.
Yep.
And it's a totally new perspective, I guess is the best way to put it. Do that with your script. Give it new perspective. Give your theme new perspective or ask new questions of it.
I really like that.
It's almost like you have your idea as a writer that you're wanting to bring, your theme, your idea. It is your job as the writer to try to attack that idea in your film. Ask questions of it.
Absolutely.
And be critical of it and see if it comes out on the other side intact.
Yeah.
It may not.
You do that, you run your character, you run your other characters at it.
Yeah.
And you throw your story at your idea. And that's maybe one of my favorite things about writing is that, so I feel like when I'm writing something, I don't feel like I'm the creator of it. I feel like I'm the first observer who's getting to decide, I just saw this thing in my mind between these two people or between these two groups or whatever it is. And okay, how do I tell that in an interesting way? And just about everything that I've ever written has changed. Everything good that I've ever written has changed me in some way. Like it's done some work on me. It's made me more sure of something or less sure of something. Yeah. But
it made you think about an idea that you have in a different way.
And I'm never the same on the backside of writing something good.
Yeah.
And if you are really struggling with the story, if you're really having a hard time with the section, that probably means you're doing good work. And the hard work of the good work is like pressing through and pressing through and pressing through until you find a good solution.
Yep.
To your problem or to your inconsistency or whatever it is that you're.
Yeah. In that way, being a writer is like so much more like philosophical and, not to be like, we're just writing movies.
Right.
On one hand, but so not to, put any self-importance on it at all, but it is.
But to that point.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about Chernobyl, which is one of my favorite things ever that I've ever seen. I've watched the entire thing 5 times and I'm just blown away by it every time. And I'm sorry, I can't pull the writer's name out of my hat at the moment.
Yeah.
He wrote the Hangover movies. And other stuff, but I was just like, where's this been? And it's like, it's not that this is good and those are bad. It's not that this is, more than and these are less than. He's a great writer and he brings that process. And you can totally write comedy. You can be a great writer and write comedy. You can be a great writer and write Chernobyl. It's not about the genre or how many people watch it or any of that stuff. It's, is he good at his craft? And he's damn good at his craft.
Yep, exactly. Theme is best expressed when it's personified in some way.
Yeah.
Most often by like protagonist and antagonist. You'll see that the most often.
Yep.
But when it's personified, if you have your idea and you have the two opposing perspectives of that idea or the two opposing arguments personified as characters, like that's their worldview.
Yeah.
Is they think this way about that thing.
They think two different ways about that same thing.
Yeah.
And then there's a character that is that thing.
Mm-hmm. That's a great way to put it.
That's lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
And this script is lightning in a bottle.
Exactly. Your theme might be an idea you have. It might be a question you're asking the audience too, in which case I guess we would call that a thematic question.
Yeah.
So like a really good example of that, just to give it because not every theme is so like cut and dry statement like crime doesn't pay or
Right.
whatever.
The old stories, that used to be the deal. Like Westerns made before 1980, you kind of knew how it was going to all go down.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool because you went in kind of knowing what to expect and you were happy when you got what you expected.
Yeah, totally. My favorite movie that asks a thematic question rather than give a really like solid
Yep.
theme as an answer is Arrival.
Mm.
And in my mind, the thematic question is, if you could see the future, would you do anything differently?
Yeah.
Which is so good.
Yeah.
And the entire movie centers around that question and plays with it. And by the end, like, I won't say it gives you an answer. A character answers that question.
Yep.
A certain way.
Yep.
And you the viewer have to live with that, I guess, or you're challenged to answer it how you might, So that's really like, I don't know. I love it.
Yeah.
So, let's get into the meat and taters, shall we?
Yes.
No Country for Old Men. Now it is worth noting before we're going to go through and pick several scenes from this and read through them. And we're actually going to watch a scene too. I will say right now, before we get into the script, if you're watching right now, pause this video, go watch the movie. It's on like Amazon Prime or something. Go watch the movie and then come back and finish, and you'll thank me later.
And listen to it on something where you can hear well, because a lot of the dialogue is like,
or like, turn on subs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of the dialogue is just right here, and it's just
totally
so good.
So good. So real quick to get into it, do you want to start with the opening monologue?
May as well.
We'll read through it.
May as well.
All right. So starting on page 1 here. Now, I do want to note this script is written by the Coens. They also directed it. You can only really write this way if you're a writer-director. Don't take this script prose-wise. Like, as in, like, we dissolve to another West Texas landscape. You would never say, unless you're directing it, that we dissolve.
Also, this, a lot of this comes verbatim out of the book. This opening dialogue.
That's great.
Or this opening monologue, rather.
I'm glad you've read the book, because I would not know that.
Yeah.
But that's incredible. All right. You want to be
I'll
Sheriff Bell for this one?
You saying I'm old?
Yes.
It's okay. You can say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be Sheriff Bell, and you can read
All right.
the action and description.
I'm not saying you're old. I'm saying you're Tommy Lee Jones.
That'll work.
All right. Fade in. Exterior, mountains, night. Snow is falling in a gusting wind. The voice of an old man.
I was sheriff of this county when I was 25. Hard to believe. Grandfather was a lawman. Father, too. Me and him was sheriff at the same time. Him in Plano and me here. I think he was pretty proud of that. I know I was.
Exterior, West Texas landscape. Dawn/day. We dissolve to another West Texas landscape. Sun is rising.
Some of the old-time sheriffs never even wore a gun. A lot of folks find that hard to believe. Jim Scarborough never carried one. That's the younger Jim. Gaston Boykins wouldn't wear one up in Comanche County.
We dissolve through more landscapes, bringing us to full day. None of them show people or human habitation.
I always like to hear about the old-timers. Never missed a chance to do so. Mr. Hopkins over at Bastrop County knowed everybody's phone number off by heart. You can't help but compare yourself against the old-timers. Can't help but wonder how they would have operated these times. There was this boy I sent to the gas chamber at Huntsville here a while back. My arrest and my testimony. He killed a 14-year-old girl. Papers said it was a crime of passion, but he told me there wasn't any passion. It wasn't any passion to it.
Exterior, West Texas road, day. The last landscape, hard sun-baked prairie, is surveyed in a long, slow pan.
Told me he'd been planning to kill somebody for about as long as he could remember. Said if they turned him out, he'd do it again.
The pan is brought into frame. The flashing light bars of a police car stopped on the shoulder. A young sheriff's deputy is opening the rear door on the far side of the car.
Said he knew he was going to hell. Be there in about 15 minutes. I don't know what to make of that. I surely don't.
Close on a pair of hands manacled behind someone's back. A hand enters to take the prisoner by one arm.
The crime you see now, it's hard to even take its measure. It's not that I'm afraid of it.
Back to the shot over the light bars. The deputy, with a hand on top of the prisoner's head to help him clear the door frame, eases the prisoner into the back seat. All we see of the prisoner is his dark hair disappearing into the car.
I always knew you had to be willing to die to even do this job, not to be glorious. But I don't want to push my chips forward and go out and meet something I don't understand.
The deputy closes the back door. He opens the front passenger door and reaches down for something, apparently heavy, at his feet.
You can say it's my job to find it, but I don't know what it is anymore.
The deputy swings the heavy object into the front passenger seat. Matching inside the car, it looks like an oxygen tank with a petcock at the top and tubing running off of it.
More than that, I don't want to know. A man would have to put his soul at hazard.
The deputy slams the door. On the door slam, we cut to the Texas highway racing under the lens, the landscape flat to the horizon. The siren whoops.
He would have to say, okay, I'll be part of this world.
Man, I ruined it. No, but like already, this is Sheriff Bell, by the way. This is him talking. Already, it's like setting up the idea of him thinking and like the illusion of things being better in the past or in past generations.
In these opening shots, you don't know if this is
you don't know what
1800s or you have no idea because I feel like you don't timeless landscape.
Yeah, I feel like you don't really know until Chigurh takes out the quarter and he has the line where it's like this quarter was minted in 1958. It's been traveling 22 years or something like that.
But I mean,
and then you're like, oh, this is in the 70s.
The shots, the opening shots during the monologue, you have no time frame at all.
Yeah, no.
So it's like when he talks about the old timers, he's talking about like is this the Wagons West era or like what's he talking about? And then finally you see a light bar and you're like, okay, we're in some modern-ish times with cars and stuff.
It's so good.
It's really amazing the way they tell that visually with the voiceover.
Yeah, but just like throughout the illusion of things being better and in the past, like can't help but wonder how they would have operated these times.
Yep.
Like half the sheriffs never wore guns.
Go to that push my chips forward line toward the end.
Yeah.
This is really the key to Ed Tom. Let's see. But I don't want to push my chips forward and go out and meet something I don't understand. That's his ultimate hedge. He's like, yeah, when this was going and getting the guy who beat his wife or knocked over the liquor store, I was down for that. But like, I don't know what's going on here, and I'm close to retirement, and I don't think I want to get involved in this.
I don't want to put my soul at hazard.
Exactly.
Yep. It's so good. Aside from that, I thought it was really interesting. The script opens a different way than the movie does. It starts with this first shot in the mountains with snow.
Yep.
Snow falling.
Yeah, you never see the snowy. You never see the snowy thing.
No, it starts on the desert.
Yeah, Yep.
In the closing monologue, and we'll see it in the script. It goes back to, it cuts to Ed Tom's dream.
Yep.
And it's the same.
Which it also doesn't do in the.
Yeah, which it also doesn't do.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of like that. I wish they kept that, you know?
Well,
like I get it, but like.
You'll hear us say this a lot. There's three, whenever you write a script, there's three scripts. There's there's three stories. There's the story you write, there's the story that gets shot, and there's the story that gets edited. And they are never exactly the same story.
So just to keep with this, with the Ed Tom storyline or the Ed Tom through line, let me real quick go over to the next scene. And don't worry, we'll come back and look at Chigurh and what he represents and talks about and all that. But this is back to Bell. This is towards the end of the script. where he's talking with old man Ellis about retiring. And I found this, like, I forgot about this in the movie.
Yeah.
I found, like, in the script, I found this, like, very thematically resonant.
Yeah.
You know?
Very much so.
So, I don't know. Do you want to read it, or I can just take the highlights and kind of hit them? Okay.
Take the highlights.
So, just certain lines are, like, so, on the surface, are so small and pointless. Like, all of this, like, talking about, like, cats. Like, they're just talking about Ellis's cats. How many cats you got? And he says, cats, several. Well, depends on what you mean by got. Some are half wild and some are just outlaws. Why did they write that? Why did they make the distinction? What's the difference between outlaws and half wild? In the greater context of the script, clearly they think there's a distinction.
Yep. And
right?
We have two characters for that distinction.
And they're talking about cats.
Right.
It's the most, like...
This brings up an interesting point. I think some of the hardest work of good screenwriting is saying more with less.
Yes.
And everybody, myself included, all of our tendencies is, in order for the audience to understand my theme, to understand what I'm trying to say, to understand what I'm trying to communicate, my tendency is going to be to say more, to show more, to have more stuff to make sure that it's clear. And that just makes a bulky movie that's not real fun to watch. You have to say less. And the less you can say, and still get your theme across, still
convey that same meaning.
Exactly. Yeah. The better and better and better that script is going to be.
100%. But like with this scene, like, you just see at a quick glance, like the kind of change that Bell has gone through almost.
Yeah.
Like, or the shift in perspective he has, like, just like, you know, and this is Ellis talking, but like Bell says that man that shot you died in prison. And, he asked him, in Angola.
That's a prison.
And he says, what would you have done if he'd been released? I don't know, nothing. Wouldn't be no point to it. And it's just like, again, it's just like they're talking about small, pointless things that...
Except they're not.
Except they're not. But I'm like, they're talking about small, pointless things which masterfully exemplify the entire theme of the movie.
Yep.
Which makes them no longer small, pointless things.
Right.
So it's great. Great writing through and through. Let's see. There was one other. Yeah, this line from Bell. I feel overmatched. I always thought when I got older, God would sort of come into my life in some way. He didn't. I don't blame him. If I was him, I'd have the same opinion about me that he does.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. This movie has no.
It's not for the weary.
It is not. It has no. There's no redemptive arc. There's no sunrise at the end. It is.
It asks you lots of questions,
big questions, and it basically says no. There is no meaning to anything.
And then this is
then you die.
This is the one other point that I wanted to talk about with this conversation. So we saw, like, at the beginning, Bell talking about how he used to make sense of the world and things used to be, orderly, and he understood it well.
Yep.
Towards the end, Ellis tells a story here about how a man is shot, and the mob comes to his house and kills him, and then, his wife, and like just terrible violence and senseless violence. They just sit there on their horses watching him die. But he talks about all this senseless violence, and then Bell asks, when did he die, though? And Ellis goes, 1909. And right then and there, it's like, no, Bell, this senseless violence has always been happening.
Yep.
It's always been this way.
And it will always be
will always be this way.
I'm discouraged.
Yeah, I'm discouraged. And you can't stop what's coming.
Yep.
Ain't all waiting on you. That's vanity.
At some point in your movie, you state the theme plainly.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you try and do that earlier on, but the way they did it here, it is super powerful.
Yeah. It's great. Real quick, I want to hit the ending scene. This is the otherwise known as the scene in No Country for Old Men that pisses everybody off because it's like, it's the most like absurdly unremarkable ending ever, but it's so pitch perfect.
Yep.
I didn't get it on the first watch. Like it was on my second watch that I was like, oh, I understand that, or I have a semblance of understanding this now. Like I get why they did it.
But it's not self-evident by any means.
No, not at all. You got
the first time you watch it, you're like, what the?
Yeah, what the is it? There's no more?
Right.
It's like they ran out of tape or something, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just Bell and his wife talking about how Bell had two dreams last night. First one was about him meeting his father in town, and his dad gave him some money, but he think he lost it.
Yep.
Which, if you watch the rest of the movie,
that's all played out.
That's the movie.
That's the movie. Yeah.
The second dream, it was like we was both back in older times, and I was on horseback going through the mountains of a night. And then it goes back to the same mountain shot at the beginning. So the Coens say, going through those paths in the mountains, it was cold and snowing, hard riding, hard country. He rode past me and kept on going, never said nothing going by. He just rode on past, and he had his blanket wrapped around him and his head down. When he rode past, I seen he was carrying fire in a horn the way people used to do, and I could see the horn from the light inside of it, about the color of the moon. And in the dream, I knew he was going on ahead and that he was fixing to make a fire somewhere out there in all that dark and all that cold. And I knew that whenever I got there, he would be there, out there up ahead. And then the movie adds the last line, which I think is also interesting that it's not in the script.
Yeah.
But then Bell says, and then I woke up. And then that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. And then it's cut to black.
And then it's cut to black.
The end, roll credits.
Yeah. And I think it's better with the then I woke up. So the last dream, what he's describing there, this is my interpretation. There are 1,000,000,001 interpretations of this.
Yep.
We don't know which one's the right one because the Coens, would never say anything, rightfully so.
Yeah, because that's what.
Yeah, because that's the point.
That's the point.
But my interpretation is that like this is like there's hope out there. His father, was there when times were good for him, and his father is up ahead somewhere in the future, or like that representation of his old values and his old ways and the way he sees the world is up there somewhere in the future, making a fire and providing light in the dark somewhere out there.
Spoken like a true 20-something.
Yeah. And then the last line, then I woke up, is so like
weirdly hopeful.
Yeah. But also weirdly pessimistic, I'd almost say. Like, then I woke up, like, that's just fiction. It is just that is like, what I hope for is just a dream.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I interpret it almost. I want to know, like, how do you see that as hopeful?
So it's interesting. I think part of this is a function of our age and the stage and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw that as him saying, I will leave here at some point soon enough. Yeah. And I'll be back in a place where the world makes sense. Maybe the world in death will make more sense than it did. When I've gone and joined the rest of what I don't understand.
Yeah.
It will be okay.
I like that.
I don't know. I don't know. It's not very, again, it's very pessimistic.
Yeah. But that's the great thing about it. It's like, you can have two totally differently, different theories on it, and both are equally valid and both are great. All right. Let's also get into so that's kind of the Ed Tom Bell through line, how he views the world.
We talked about the other two characters.
No, we have not.
Yeah. Might have to make this part one and part two.
Might need to do a whole separate, make it a whole separate script study almost on just No Country for Old Men. So the other thing that we need to look at, I would say the more pressing scene would be the Anton and Carla Jean scene.
Yep.
So this
is one of the most pivotal moments.
This is one of the most pivotal moments in the whole movie.
Yep.
Don't watch this if you haven't watched the movie. Go watch the movie first, then come back here and watch this.
Big time spoiler alert.
Yeah, big time spoiler alert. But this is pivotal. And so the reason we're watching it instead of reading it is because the most pivotal moment in the scene
is not in the script. And it's fascinating. But yeah, let's give this a watch and let it speak for itself, all right? If it will play.
I knew this wasn't done with. I ain't got the money. What little I had is long gone, and there's bills aplenty to pay it. I buried my mother today. Ain't paid for that neither.
I wouldn't worry about it.
It's so cold.
I need to sit down. You got no cause to hurt me.
No. But I gave my word.
You gave your word?
Your husband.
That don't make sense. You gave your word to my husband to kill me?
Your husband had the opportunity to save you. Instead, he used you to try to save himself.
Not like that. Not like you say. You don't have to do this.
People always say the same thing.
What do they say?
They say, you don't have to do this.
You don't.
Okay. This is the best I can do. Call it.
I know you was crazy when I saw you sitting there. I knowed exactly what was in store for me.
Call it.
No. I ain't gonna call it.
Call it.
The coin don't have no say. It's just you.
Well, I got here the same way the coin did.
Just cut.
Man. Whew. Such a great scene. So we did touch on Anton Chigurh representing fate.
Inevitability.
Inevitability and fate and and that whole idea of chance. Do you want to give me the takeaways of that scene, or like what that means in the greater context of the story?
This scene?
Yeah.
I love that she puts it back on him.
Yeah.
Because he sees himself as like, no, I'm not good or bad.
He's the arbiter.
I am.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is not because I'm a bad person. This is just how the cards were dealt to you.
Yeah.
Bummer, dude.
Yeah.
And she puts that right back on him. She's like, coin don't have no say in it.
Yeah. It's all you.
And it pisses him off. It's like he firms up. He's like, call it. And she's like, nope.
Yep.
But what happens in the script?
It just ends. Like, let me pull it up here. 111. Let's see. Yeah. So all of this is word for word what's in the movie, but it ends at,
I knowed you was crazy.
I knowed you was crazy.
I know what was in store for me.
Yeah. And then he just says, yes, things fall into place.
And then he exits the house.
Minutes later and checks his shoes. And then there's that whole thing. But I love what's in the movie so much more.
Yeah.
In that, it's like our one small victory
Yeah.
as a collective like audience over Chigurh.
Yep.
Is like his entire worldview comes crashing down there, and she makes him take responsibility for his actions instead of hiding behind chance or fate or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
And then just to like build on top of that a little bit. And I wonder is any of this in the book, or how much of this is?
I haven't read the book in years.
Okay. I want to know if this is in the book. Immediately after that, Anton gets in a car wreck.
Right. By random chance. Showing that he is just a human too. He is just as much a pawn of fate as anybody else. Sort of. But he walks off without consequence. Or I mean, he's got a bone sticking through his arm.
He's got a bone sticking through his arm. But I think it's less about like making him pay for his actions through like killing him or not killing him, and more just about showing him like you are not.
He is as subject to it as
you are as subject to it just as much as everyone else.
Everyone that you've killed.
Yeah.
Or not killed, like the guy at the gas station.
Yeah. So for him, it's like way more humiliating almost, I would say, than just like as satisfying as it would have been to see him die. Thematically, it says way more that he lives and he is shown beyond a shadow of a doubt that his entire worldview is wrong.
Yeah.
It's so powerful.
There's another small detail when he buys the shirt off the kid.
Yeah.
He pulls this wad of cash out of his pocket, and you think he's like, I'm desperate here. Like, I got to get out of here before. You would think he would just hand him whatever he's got in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
But he, like, with his mouth, peels off a single $100 bill and puts the rest back in his pocket and gives the kid the bloody, wadded up, spitty $100 bill. He's like, no, I gotta hang on to this because I'm not done.
Yeah.
I'm just hurt.
It's great. And I guess, so we probably have 10-ish minutes left here before we start getting notes from our producer about how we've gone over time and, he hates us if we don't finish up soon. But I think we should read the gas station scene another time.
Yep. I agree.
It is a great scene. It is word for word what is in the script.
Yep.
And it's a great just summation of like his whole philosophy leading up to him and Carla Jean.
Yep.
That confrontation.
It sows that seed that we get to see like the other side of it.
Yeah. And it's great that like we see that he does spare life if the coin is called correctly.
Right.
Because like otherwise it's like, well, does he just kill everyone regardless of what side of the coin?
And you don't get the sense that he's disappointed or anything. He's just
all right. Yeah.
Good for you.
But some of the lines in there, like I mentioned it earlier, like him saying to the proprietor, like this coin has traveled 22 years to be here. And at the end, I love the line that says, let me just go to it real fast. I love the line at the end where he says, Dun, 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 dun. After the proprietor calls the coin correctly, he goes, well done. And then he says, don't put it in your pocket. It's your lucky quarter.
Right.
Where do you want me to put it? Anywhere not in your pocket, or it'll get mixed in with the others and become just a coin, which it is.
Oh,
it's such great writing on so many levels, man. And it's all like thematic from the coin traveling 22 years to get here. It was fated to be here. And just like, but it's just a coin. That's all it is. It doesn't matter. Is like, so sums up his paradoxical ideas so well. And
how he's at peace with the very violent person that he is.
Yeah. Yeah. And then real quick, talk about who's in the middle.
So Llewelyn, who we haven't touched on at all.
No, ironically enough, like,
now, a lot of times,
one of the protagonists.
Yeah, a lot of times most times I would say in your story, your protagonist it's kind of your audience's proxy. It's who you want the audience to identify with and pull for and feel the thrill of victory when they come out on the other side on top.
Yeah.
So Llewelyn is that character. I mean, he is, I guess, technically he is the protagonist in the story. But his whole thing is like, I can dodge fate. I can get out of this. So he's like, he's out hunting and then he sees this whole deal go down and he sees everybody get mowed down.
No, he comes in at the aftermath. He only gets aftermath.
But he gets there, like he knows that everybody's dead. But nobody else is coming. And he's like, what if there's any cash down there? That's good luck.
Yeah.
Fate has smiled upon me and delivered this bounteous sum of money into my hands.
Yeah.
So he's like, I think I can make this work.
Yeah.
And then when all of the downside of that starts chasing him, and it's just like Chigurh is just like he's like a ratchet. He never goes backwards. He only ever gets closer.
Yeah. He only clamps down more and more.
Yeah. He only gets closer. He never gets off the track. He's never confused. He's only just closing in. And the whole time Llewelyn is like, I can dodge and weave and, I can figure my way out of this. And of course,
I'd say in a sense, Llewelyn almost represents the audience, or almost represents.
Absolutely.
He represents our expectations.
So that when he just gets like in a kind of not even glorious way, it's just kind of like another random event. He just like opens the wrong door. What's his name? Opens the door and like, bam. And that's why the audience is gutted, because you're like, I thought he was going to get away. I thought he was going to get the cash and get his girl and get out of town.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's great, man. And also it just like plays against our expectations so much, not for the sake of playing against our expectations.
Right. No, it's never for its own sake.
No, it's more just like he represents us to such an extent that like we believe for most of the movie, like he's going to do it. He's going to get away. And we totally ignore from the very beginning, like he isn't the protagonist. He's just another player in the game.
Right.
It's Belle who's the real hero in a sense. And Belle gets out of it alive because he doesn't engage. He doesn't put his chips in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Plays it safe.
He does. Now there are 1,000,001 other things in the script that we can point out. I'm just going to do the Cliff Notes version real quick.
Yes. The thing that the Coens make you feel as the audience when Llewelyn just gets like the door opens and he gets gunned down and you're like, ugh. And it's like, death is inevitable and you got no say in the matter.
Yeah.
And it's coming for you. It's like, thank you, Joel and Ethan.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate that. Took me on a good ride, but damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it may be a very pessimistic message if you want to look at No Country for Old Men in the most pessimistic way possible. But it is a really clear message and it is really well expressed.
And it really makes you think.
And that's what themes should do.
Yeah. If you watch this movie and you're not emotionally engaged and philosophically challenged, you got issues.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah. In our opinion.
In our opinion.
Asterisk.
Yes.
real quick, Cliff Notes for like we just touched on a couple of the major landmarks of the way theme is expressed in this. If you don't believe us, then I'm going to prove you wrong right here. Page 43 of the script. There's just so many like random little events that seemingly random that express the theme so much, like just so well. Page 43, not randomly, Chigurh is driving down the highway at night and crosses a bridge and rolls down his window and shoots at a bird on his way.
Yeah.
It's just like so like out like what was the point of that? It's just more senseless violence.
Just me. It's what I do.
Yeah. It's
maybe the bird lives, maybe the bird dies.
It's what he does.
Not for me to
and
say.
It's also just in Ed Tom Bell's mind, completely pointless. And
right.
Completely senseless. And he doesn't know what to think of it. Ununderstandable. Page 54, a character mentions that hitchhiking is dangerous these days.
Yeah.
And, as if it wasn't before. And page 56, Carson Wells, Woody Harrelson's character, says there are plenty of psychotic killers around and, all this. And page 81, Anton himself says, just speaking to his ideology a little bit.
Yeah.
If the rule you followed brought you to this, what you used was the rule.
Yeah.
That's him talking to Woody Harrelson's character. That was the big line that I was trying to think of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right before he shoots him.
Yeah.
And then page 85, like Bell has another moment of being baffled at what he's encountering again. And all this. And it's all just so thematically in line and perfectly expressed.
If you need meaning and order, in order to make sense of the world, then you're not welcome here and you're not cut out.
Yeah.
For the world as it is
the
now.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for watching this far. If you got this far, and we appreciate you.
Amazing.
Sticking with us.
This far,
really amazing. Go watch No Country for Old Men again if you've seen it already. And if you haven't seen it, then what are you doing this far in? Not having seen it. So go watch it. As always, our rules around here. Surely you've had some fun by this point, if not learned a thing or two. So go ahead and hit us with a subscribe, like the video. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.